Do you want your kids to be more grateful?
Well, we have some tips for you.
Hi, we're Chips and Salsa, two homeschool moms bringing you fun, practical, and encouraging tips.
If you're new to our channel, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button so that you are notified every time we release a new video.
Today we're talking about Thanksgiving, helping our kids to be more grateful for the things that we have.
Yeah, it's something definitely that needs to be taught and practiced.
Amen.
Yeah.
Even for us.
Yeah, so today we have 4 practical tips to give you that will help kind of encourage this environment in your home and in your kids and in yourself. So tip number 1 is model gratitude. So we already know that we are our child's best and most influential teacher. So if we're not modeling gratitude,
Right.
chances are they're not going to be practicing gratitude.
Yeah. And we do that by pointing out all of the great things that we have. Like you were saying, I love our car. Kids, don't we have a great car?
Yeah.
Aren't we so blessed to have this? And don't you love when we clean it and we take care of it?
Right. Yes, taking care of your things. I, in particular, I love pointing out things in nature because I'm just fascinated and I am so grateful for nature because I do feel like it's such a gift. And so I'm always saying, kids, look at the sky, look at the moon, guys, look at this flower. And now I find them doing the same thing. And my daughter will run downstairs, Mom, the sky, you gotta come look at it, you know,
Yeah.
things like that. So that's just one practical thing that you could do. And just the little things, really appreciating the little things.
Yeah, absolutely. And we always give thanks at meals. You know, thanking the Lord for providing for us is huge because there's so many people who don't have food on their tables.
Yeah, I love my son's prayers for meals. He always says, Lord, thank you for Daddy's job so that we can buy the food, and thank you for Mom so that she cooks the food. Thank you. You know, so he sees the process of it, and I like that.
Yeah, my kids always say, thanks, Mom, thanks, Dad.
Yeah, I love that.
Point number 2, we want to practice Thanksgiving and making it part of our day.
Yeah. So you were saying sometimes you go around your table and, you know, what are you grateful for?
Yeah.
I think that is a really great practice to have, and
you have to go
verbalize it.
beyond my family,
Right.
my house, right?
Yeah.
Eventually you have to start thinking of other things.
Yeah, I got my kids a thank you journal a long time ago, and I want to get them. I think for a while they were really writing it every day. I think it's a good thing, like, to go to sleep with, you know, and be like, hey, you know, I'm really grateful for this, and like you said, beyond the typical things, but really noticing every blessing during the day and having the practice of writing it down. Even for us, I think it's important.
Yeah, well, in our passion planners, at the end of each month, there's these questions, and one of the questions is, who are you particularly grateful for from this month?
And of course, you write Ximena.
Sometimes.
Well, I have a thing, you can't see it, but it's up here in my classroom, and it says, exchange a bad attitude for gratitude. So I have this practice too, and my kids don't like it, and I can understand why they don't like it, because when I'm in a bad mood, I don't want people to tell me, think of something you're grateful for, you know? But I do find that gratitude is the way out of a bad attitude.
Well, it is, and I tell this story all the time because my husband and I went through a really bad spell in our marriage, and what began to drag us out was being thankful. My husband said, we need to be more thankful. And we just began to meditate on the things that we were grateful for, and we began to see each other again and began to heal.
That's awesome. That's a great story. Yeah, so just gratitude journal, gratitude practice, you know, verbalizing it, and catching ourselves when we're drifting off into complaining mode or bad attitude, and looking at everything we do have versus what we don't have.
Right.
Yeah. Tip number 3 is generosity or charity.
Yes, because like you said, there are so many people who don't have, and our kids don't always see it.
Yeah.
But that helps them to realize, man, we really do have it good.
Yeah. And the truth is, the heart is much happier and much more grateful when you give rather than hog and hoard.
Oh, absolutely. It is better to give than to receive.
Yeah, and it really does stir something up. So little things that you can do. I mean, we're always involved in church events. I know that there's Toys for Joy where they give toys during Christmas. I have taken my kids to very impoverished parts of Mexico so they can see, and we've given out clothes, and we used to have a practice, and I want to kind of regain that practice, but of making cookies, and on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve we would go out to the homeless and just talk to them and give them cookies. And my kids got to see firsthand just kids and families that were homeless and out on the street on Christmas and had nothing, and these kids were very sad, and it really impacted my children to see that we need to care for these people and love them, and also be grateful for what you do have.
Yeah. Well, even my kids love giving people money when they see, them in need, and seeing their faces and seeing up close that you realize they don't want to be. A lot of them don't want to be homeless.
Right.
And for those people, it's really sad because you want to help them and be a blessing to them so they can get back on their feet.
Yeah. Just to be able to experience something outside of your normal culture and things that we get so used to seeing and kind of get ungrateful, when we don't realize what's out there,
Yeah.
So that change of perspective is really important.
Well, and I think we're even able to see that in the books that we've been reading.
Yeah.
Where they're reading books and stories about kids who are living in times
Poverty.
of war or living in poverty where they have crumbs to eat.
Yeah. Our next tip is life skills, and I had to have a budgeting talk with my daughter. Like, she wanted more clothes and she didn't really need any, And so I actually went through our budget with her, and how much money comes in and how much goes out, and how we really do live a life of luxury, because we don't need 3 smartphones, and we don't need internet, and we don't need Netflix, and we don't need Spotify, and and so she was able to see that. But then we read this book about famine in Japan, and she was like, oh, because these people are dying in the streets because they're starving, and they would die for just a little bit of rice, And
well, and I love that she said, "Mom, did you coordinate this?"
Yeah. Yes. No, I didn't, but that's awesome. Those are the homeschool moment wins.
Right? Well, because we take for granted when you're a kid that you have food on the table and that the bills are paid, and they don't even know sometimes you're struggling from paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. So those life skills help them, right? Taking them to the grocery store, maybe giving them a budget and saying, hey, this is how much we have, and this is what we need to buy, and this is what we need. And then anything extra, maybe we'll get a treat. But if there's no extra, there's no extra, and it's not a problem. We're still fed, You were saying your husband.
Yeah, as a little boy, his dad gave him a little money because he worked as a landscaper, and he had all the boys working with him. So he would give him a little money. And as a little boy, he saw, wow, we eat a lot of food. That food is expensive. Oh, we have to pay for our house. Oh, my dad worked so hard for this money. That he valued and appreciated his dad, the hard work that he did, and how much things cost.
And I think that is so much more valuable than I don't know, than just kind of like trying to keep them from that information. Because sometimes we say, well, we don't want to burden them with that information. Well, you're not burdening them. You're showing them how life works.
Right.
And how blessed we are. You know what I mean? So I think it's important to expose them to that. Another thing is chores, like working,
Yeah, being a contributor to our household, and how good it feels, right? When everything's in order, and then you appreciate it more. You're more grateful for what you have. And I am on a journey to being a minimalist. It's a long journey, but it's okay.
That's part of the homeschooler. Look at all this stuff.
Right? Well, I was just watching this webinar about minimizing, and she was saying how when you have less things, if you really value and treasure those things, that is a great lesson for your kids. When there's abundance all over the place, you really lose your gratefulness for it. Don't get us started on consumerism.
Yeah.
We'll just go on for another 15 minutes.
Well, we hope that you enjoyed these tips. We hope that you apply them, and let us know in the comments if you do some of these or what tips you have to keep your kids grateful. We love to hear about traditions and practices that you have as families.
Please give us a thumbs up if you like this video and share with your friends. And we'll see you next time. Bye.